And we're back.
I'm going to have to call him Luger.
Or not Steffi Powers will show up on my screen.
Luger and Davey go by the Allied Powers. That delayed vertical suplex by Davey never gets old. It's nothing short of... Sorry, my phone blacked out. Nothing short... I'm sorry, it never gets old. It's nothing short of amazing. Definitely like the fact that Bulldog's tights are about 3 sizes too small. Oh yeah, we have a match to get to. For some reason, the brothers come down second. The brothers try to jump them, which winds up in a pair of power slams for them. Note that this is just a power slam, not the power slam by a Bulldog.
Not the shoulder one.
So that it's just a normal match. Bulldog's in trouble early on as the power of evil double teaming has hurt him. A big double boot by Bulldog down as Luger is just worthless on the apron here. The fans aren't incredibly impressed. Jerry says that the Bulldog has only lost at Mania, which isn't true as he's lost both at 3 and 4. Luger comes in and the fans pop just slightly. I guess the jump back to WCW was the right move indeed. Another power slam gets no cover. The loaded forearm gets 2 as the other twin makes the save. Uncle Zebekiah, yes, Uncle Zeb Coulter is at ringside.
Yes.
Dutch Mantel, for those who somehow don't know. Uncle Zebekiah gets drilled and it's twin magic time.
Not the second.
The Bell twins.
Not the implant one.
Yeah. One twin goes for a powerbomb, pile driver, but Luger hits the blind tag, allowing Bulldog to hit a top rope sunset flip for the pin, prompting a fireworks display to go off. I'll say this. The concept of the match wasn't wrong. As it was sort of as an opening match that has more of a showcase for the baby faces, the powerhouse babyface team, isn't necessarily a wrong concept for an opening match. It generally does help though that that the heel team isn't boring as shit. It's not the worst opener of Mania I've seen, but it's close. Yeah, it's not really anything special to write home about. I ended up giving it a D.
That's higher than I will give it. So, Power Regulation show more items. Told you this was a treat for you. Sometimes it pays to lose, like you're going to next week.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, I might have been going by the...
Wait, hold on.
The match... I gave it a D-.
It's still a bit higher than me. So, we'll pass my figure life out. I'll talk about what it means to be a champion. So,
Jim Ross talks to the uncle who says that this is what they deserve for being in the big city. They pinned the wrong guy, and that's not the last you'll hear of the twins.
I'm listening.
Excuse me.
The NYPD Blue.
The NYPD Blue guy is with the $1 million team. DiBiase's stable of mostly jobbers.
Hold on.
Whether he's supposed to be in the dressing room of Pamela Anderson, but the mic doesn't work. As an aside, during the show, Lawler accidentally knocked some cords loose, and he and Vince had to redo the entire commentary of the show from watching video. Due to that, the commentary you'll hear on these matches isn't live at all.
Well, I actually never knew that.
Yeah. Lawler describes football as a game where 11 men spend hours trying to move an object 100 yards.
That sounded professional.
Yes.
Just a lot of it. Lawler's playing football or something.
Lawler describes football as a game where 11 men spend hours trying to move a small object 100 yards, which is just like the post office. What that has to do with this is beyond me, but it sounded good at the time. So it's about the NFL guys here and the main event. Intercontinental title match: Jeff Jarrett versus Razor Ramon.
Something confident.
No real story here other than they're feuding for no apparent reason. Jarrett is in his country music gimmick here, and even the Fink sounds bored out of his mind here. Jarrett won the title at the Royal Rumble, thanks to Road Dogg, in case you don't know that, interfering. 1-2-3 Kid and Ramon are in the back and say that Ramon is ready. Razor was so over back then it's insane. Vince makes a weird comment saying that Razor knows where he is at all times. Not sure why that's a compliment. Don't most people know where they are located? It's either a Vince line or a rib that 3 people get. Razor is all over Jarrett to start this off with. Jarrett hits the floor and Razor gets to shoot off his promo. He gets about 3 covers in the first 2 minutes off of his punches. Double J may have hurt his tooth. Roll Up gets 2 for Razor. Rhodey saves Jarrett from Razor's edge. And Jarrett tries to leave, but the Kid is waiting for him in the aisle to stop that. 5 minutes in, and Double J's Big Smooth has been a hard Irish whip. For all his detractors, Jarrett can wrestle quite well. I've always wondered why he didn't get the recognition of the star he deserved. Jarrett tries to get on offense, but can't get anything long term going. He gets thrown to the floor again as the crowd dies all over again. Jeff gets some drop kicks in here, and here comes. I'm sorry. Jeff gets some drop kicks in, and here comes the guy from Tennessee. We hit the chin lock, and the fans get going a bit. That's a sentence. At least it's a fast one, as Razor gets a backslide for 2. Sleeper goes on Razor, and again it lasts for just a few seconds. Oh hey, here's another chin lock to keep us interested. This match just isn't flowing. It's like working move to move, and it's showing badly. In a really stupid looking sequence, they both hit the ropes and hit head to head. Then they get up and hit the ropes again, and both punch each other. It's more or less the same spot in a row twice. Just looks stupid. The ref is counting ridiculously fast too. Fall away slam gets 2. Just gets punch, gets Jeff down. Can Razor do anything else besides punch and go for the edge? Razor hurts his knee going for the top rope bulldog, which is the same knee that was hurt 3 months ago at the Rumble. Of course, it's still stored. Why wouldn't it be? Figure 4 by Jarrett as the roadie pulls on Jarrett's arms for more leverage. I've always wondered about that. How does that make it hurt more? I love how Razor's knee hurts badly, yet he could pick up a 230-pound man, sit on the rope, and belly to back suplex him from it without his knee giving out. He gets him up on the Razor's edge, but Rhodey chop blocks him for the DQ. Post-match, all 4 men brawl. Jarrett asks Jarrett about his cheating, and Jarrett says he'll always be Intercontinental Champion. If by always he means until he jumps to WCW, and then back to the WWF, loses to China, after being hit by a fish, and then is banned from the company because Austin hated him, yes, he'll always be champion. Yeah, this one, I've seen better matches from them. Literally at the Rumble 95 was a better match. And then the Rumble 96 too. I'm sorry, no, that's him goalless. But it felt like they had another match around this time as well. Yeah, essentially it was more like just moving them around the ring and punching each other and trying to hit their big move. At least that's what Razor felt like he was trying to do. This one just didn't click on this night, which is a little disappointing from these two together. I gave it a D. Since there was no audio earlier, let's redo the exact same movements from the interview earlier. Pamela Anderson is nowhere to be found. Sean and Sid say that Diesel is afraid. Todd Pettingill gets in a 3-point stance with a football player, and there's that, and that's all there is to that pointless bit. The next match is The Undertaker versus King Kong Bundy. This is the result of a mini feud with DiBiase and Kama over the urn being stolen for about the 12th time.
This is the result of they'll pick a Finn and Bianca. Now we're going to get demonetized.
If we haven't been demonetized by now, I don't know what else we can do.
Okay.
A baseball umpire is refereeing the match for no apparent reason. Bundy charges straight at him to start, but that gets him nowhere. Old School can't take him down. A bunch of clotheslines finally put the old bald man down. Bundy knocks him to the floor, and Taker gets the urn back. Now, of course, Bundy is in big trouble as Taker is all ticked off. Here's Kama, Godfather, to steal it back again. This is going as fast as I'm typing, so it's not like I'm skipping over a bunch of stuff. He's not, and if he was, it's not anything of note, really.
Why was there a baseball umpire?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I think he's a famous umpire, I'm guessing.
They have those famous ones? Was he like Goldberg?
Maybe.
Alright.
Taker grabs Kama's face, but Bundy makes the save and Kama escapes. Ross grabs an interview with Kama, who says that he's going to melt it down and make a chain out of it and put it around his neck, which he would wind up doing. Bundy chokes away in the corner, showing off the vast array of offensive talent. The referee is rather bad at counting. Bear plays cheerleader to get The Undertaker out of the chinlock. Avalanche hits in the corner, but Taker is no Special Delivery Jones, so it has no effect. A slam and jumping clothesline of all things ends this. Well, I can say one thing.
Yeah.
It's better than Taker's match last year.
At Wrestlemania 10? What was it do?
Or, I'm sorry, Taker's last Mania match.
Oh, well, see, it's better than Johnny Gonzalez. That's not
Well, it is better since he didn't have a match at 10. It's his best Mania match in 2 years.
Alright.
That says absolutely nothing, because he only had 2. And the one and the one that wasn't in this one, including Johnny Gonzalez. But yeah, that was bad. It's a feud that Taker was thrown in because, well, there wasn't really anything else for him, I guess. Yeah, it's essentially they didn't want Taker blowing on his back trying to pick up Bundy, or Bundy taking the tombstone. So it just sort of ended on a flying clothesline, which...
Okay.
Sure. Taker really wanted to have a meaningful feud until more than a year later where he would finally get Mankind. Where it would be something more long-term that Taker could bite into. But this was terrible. F. Oh, look, the NYPD blue guy still can't find Pamela. Steve McMichael says he'll take down Kama. The rest of the All-Pro team says they'll take care of the $1 Million team. The NYPD blue guy goes and does find Jonathan Taylor Thomas, beating Bob Backlund at chess, though. I never thought I would have to type that, or I would thought I would have to say that, but here we go. Bob Backlund rants about the world being screwed up is hilarious. Next match for the tag team titles, the Smoking Guns versus Owen Hart and a mystery opponent. Owen has a mystery partner here, and the Smoking Guns are a great example of the failure of tag wrestling during this period of time. They were definitely talented, but absolutely no one cared about them. They're practically forgotten, but they were one of the most tag teams from this time era. As we probably know, the partner is Yokozuna. Oddly enough, the partner goes out before the Guns, and the champions do. This, of course, about Brett somehow, because Owen is completely obsessed with Brett. Yoko weighs a few tons by this point and is straight up waddling to the ring. The Guns say they don't care who the partner is. Billy with a mullet and a mustache is freaky looking. More fireworks go off here. That's what's all the tag teams tonight. Owen and Billy start us off. That's apparently the most talented combination out there, I guess. Apparently, Owen and Neidhart were eliminated from the tag tournament to determine the normal contenders, so this is the result of that. The Guns go on the work of Owen to start, which lasts about a few minutes as it's off to Yoko. Leg drop misses, and Yoko takes over again. And never mind that, as we're back to Owen again. Cornette is yelling at the fans, which is one of the more entertaining parts of this show. Double leg sweep to the Canadian by the American Cowboys. Owen gets sent to the floor as we're in a colossal connection formula here. Owen does the vast majority of the work, while Yoko is brought in to do the heavier lifting. Apparently, men on a mission have turned heel on the Guns. Riveting indeed. Unfortunately, it set up King Mabel. The Guns hit a modified Sidewinder, side slam, leg drop combination for 2 on Owen. Yoko comes in and gets the leg drop on the back of Billy's head to more or less kill him. I'm surprised Yoko has been in this ring that long. Long nerve hold by Yoko and Billy to waste a lot more time. Yoko misses a leg drop and Bart comes in. Everything breaks down and Billy gets killed by a belly to suplex from the Fat Man. Bonsai drop ends Billy, and Owen gets the pin for the title, which might be the first in the company if possible. It was the best way to describe it would be it's a tag match. Yoko didn't really do much because he was super fat at the time and wasn't in any run shape here. Owen did his best with the green Smoking Guns, but honestly, this didn't necessarily belong in WrestleMania, much less an episode of Raw. D+. Excuse me 1 second, I just want to take a swig. Do you want to enlighten them on the Smoking Guns?
Yes.
Or Owen Hart or Yoko?
Yes. Owen Hart is the younger brother of Bret Hart, the most talented member of the Hart family on the mic. Yokozuna is not really Japanese. He is a member of the world-famous Anawaki family, which dates back for years, which is currently still going strong as the biggest storyline in wrestling, especially the last 3 years. And now they have a member named the Honorary Uce, Sami Zayn, who's doing a really great job in his role. And now with the Smoking Guns, one scissoring daddies and the other one we don't know where he's at. But, are we good?
Yes, we're good.
Well, you could have jumped at any time. He's also a member of D-Generation X. That's why they gave him a nod on Monday night on Raw this past Monday for the 25th anniversary of DX. Now we're good?
Yep.
And let me talk about Barkley right now?
No, I'm good.
Let me look him up.
Bigelow says he'll destroy Lawrence Taylor. There was a Mania workout, and they had a scrimmage there, too. This feud never really got going for me, but the media actually paid attention, so there's that, I guess. This interview takes forever, and nothing special is said at all.
Stop Scarlet screaming?
Yeah.
My bad. I was trying to look at Barkley for it.
And we're on to the next match.
Are we off the...
It is an I Quit match.
I thought so.
with special guest referee Roddy Piper, and it is Bret Hart versus Bob Backlund. For no apparent reason. Other than Bob Backlund cost Bret the title, or technically Owen did. Owen's the one that threw the towel, but whatever. But Bob Backlund beat Bret Hart for the title, and now Bret tries to get his revenge. Vince says Roddy knows something about submissions. What in the world would that be anyway? There was their second submission match, technically, as the other one was a throw in the towel match that had to end in submission, if I remember correctly. Piper would be commissioner by the next Mania, and he would also beat up Goldust in a Hollywood backlot. I'll add that part.
Thank you.
Backlund is more or less crazy here, which was rather impressive given how completely different he used to be in Backlund's glory days. I'm still mad about not getting Bret's glasses when I was a kid. The annoying kid next to me got them. He did, however, get a slaughter helmet. Bret gets a headbutt start, and the fight is on. Sharpshooter can't get on early. Vince doesn't remember Piper losing to Bret at WrestleMania 8. Some fan he is. Bret goes for the sharpshooter again and can't get it. You can't tell that from Vince, as he keeps on going crazy every 5 seconds. Yes, no, yes, no. Is he a Zodiac or something? Figure 4 goes on, but Backlund reverses it. Neither guy says that they quit, as we get a quick check-in with the German commentators for no apparent reason. Bret works on the knee again, and this is rather boring. Piper needs to quit asking them if they quit so often. Backlund works on the arm as I try to find a good novel to read, so I don't have to watch this for a while. Backlund hooks a Fujiwara armbar, and Bret says no to Piper. That was a shocking line then, apparently, which is amusing given that the I Quit match in 1999 with Triple H versus The Rock, Triple H said suck it when he asked if he quit.
Good night.
Good night. Backlund likes the armbar. Jerry talks about breaking into a pyramid. What the heck? And seeing a picture of Stu Hart with a headlock on King Tut. Where does he get these from? Sharpshooter almost goes on, but Backlund gets to the ropes before it's cinched in. Bret charges again, and his shoulder hits the post to put him in real trouble. There's the cross-face chicken wing. And Bret is in trouble, and never mind, as he casually reverses, it gets to a horrible version of it on Backlund for the submission. You know, from all the devastating work that he did on Backlund's arm from the whole time. This was an awful match if you don't get it. Yeah, so it's kind of double-edged here. Not only was it a terrible match, but it actually wasted an all-time great worker, Bret Hart, at WrestleMania, where he could have been literally used in just about anything else and probably would have been better. F. Backlund is leaving. He says he saw the light. That this would lead to him becoming a presidential candidate. I'll just let that hang in the air for a second. Okay, the NYPD Blue guy was annoying at first. Now he's just making me mad. No one cares. They're changing around the celebrities. More audio issues as Todd tries to talk to Diesel. He finally says that he's going to keep the title. He slips up when he's trying to say if he's going to retain the title or retain the title, and he finally screams, "Hold on to it." This was back when Nash was actually really good and got the reputation he lived off of for years. Celebrity introduced as Jerry Lawler reveals he accidentally unplugged some cords. WWF title match, Shawn Michaels versus Diesel. The deal was supposed to be McCarthy came out with Diesel, and Anderson, who was viewed as 10 times hotter and more important than McCarthy, would come out with the Royal Rumble winner, Shawn. For obvious reasons, they reversed this. The NYPD Blue Guy is the ring announcer, and he's miles better at this than being an interviewer. He just shouts almost everything he says, and for the sake of this, it works really well. The story here is Diesel was Shawn's bodyguard, but realized he was awesome on his own, and so he turned face and won the WWF title. Sid replaced him as the bodyguard, and the exact same thing would happen in about a year. Technically the next night, as Sid would turn on him. Shawn finally morphed into a character that would make him a legend by this point. As weird as this sounds, Diesel is a freaking beast at this point. Sweet intro, the music was cool. He has Pamela Anderson, just the complete look. What in the world happened to that? Anderson simply couldn't want to be here less if her life depended on it.
That's also true.
Shawn hammers away to start, as we're already into the power versus speed area. Diesel had been champion since a few days after Survivor Series, so he had almost 7 more months with the title reign here. Diesel sends Shawn to the floor as we look to the ladies. Sid distracts the referee, but Shawn can't get a shot in on Diesel. Suplex puts Shawn down. Back to the floor again as Sid and Diesel stare each other down one more time. Diesel counters the sunset flip, as this is more or less one-sided so far. Nash is sent to the floor but Shawn skins the cat and dives down to crush Diesel. Baseball sliding has the champion in trouble. We look at Anderson again, and sweet goodness, does she not want to be somewhere else? The fans loudly chant for Sid, thus proving that this entire match is booked wrong. Shawn hits a splash off the apron to the floor as Diesel's in trouble. Back in the ring, and Shawn stops away and hits a bulldog for 2. I've never liked that move at all. Crossbody from the middle rope. Shawn works on the arm and gets a "Let's Go Shawn" chant in his honor. Okay, make that he's working on Diesel's ribs. A top rope elbow to the back gets 2. For whatever reason it is a highlight clip of Shawn Michaels. Never really gotten why, but it certainly is. Of course, off to the chinlock now, as we get the fans still like Shawn better. Diesel fights back and gets his snake eyes to get some momentum here. Flare flip into the corner, and Shawn hits the floor again. Nash follows, and it's time to see Shawn's tights pulled down, as it is the tradition for the big match he's in for no apparent reason. They slug it out to the floor, and the referee twists his ankle getting down. I guess it wasn't a thing in the Attitude Era. Back in, and Shawn gets sweet chin music, but no referee, which would be a factor in Shawn's reasoning as to why he lost. It gets 2, and the fans boo loudly on the kick out. Sid goes to an old school heel move and rips the turnbuckle pad off. Diesel gets a suplex to avoid being rammed into it, and both guys are down. Shawn gets in an arm over and gets a long 2 count, as the fans aren't seemingly to care much here. In a slick counter move, Diesel catches a bulldog from the middle rope into a side slam. Nice move. Shawn circles Diesel, but gets his legs trapped under him. Diesel's old school with a slingshot into the turnbuckle. If only that had been where he landed, as Shawn's head hit the middle rope instead of the top one. Big boot and jackknife ends this anyway. I actually seemingly liked this match better than he did. Maybe it's because I had to sit through WrestleMania 11.
Just say you just gotta wait 2 years to do it again.
No, but I like the story they were playing along with.
Just wait. Yeah, wait. In 2 years, we're just gonna do this.
Shawn actually looked like he could handle a 7-foot dude in the main event of WrestleMania. As this did more for Shawn than it did Diesel. And Shawn would end up turning face and becoming one of the stronger baby faces. He just deserves it. As Shawn would end up being the biggest baby face in the company. I gave it a B+.
Oh. Off a fucking day. Can the pace continue? Can the last 2 matches break a day?
There's only 1 match left.
Yeah, I know, but can we go on a streak with 2 matches, breaking these?
Shawn and Sid complain to Ross and say it's not over, which it wasn't. The celebrities celebrate with Diesel forever, and Nash gets both chicks because he's hardcore. Shawn complains even more in the back.
Hardcore in Detroit. Yes.
Anyway, main event time.
What'd you say? He's hardcore.
That was a Tommy
Dreamer reference.
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
I'll take them both. I'm hardcore.
Yeah, I don't know the worst man in the box, so we're gonna play hardcore Detroit. Just a
anyway, main event.
Hello.
Main event time here.
I was going to say hardcore Detroit.
The less time I waste on this, the better.
Yeah, I know.
Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow.
Are you saying this match sucked?
If you have never seen a person die and you want to,
oh God.
Actually, if you want to, I'd recommend psychiatric help. But anyway, right here you're about to see a man's career die right in front of your eyes. Here it is. Let it be known throughout the universe and all the world that the reason that WrestleMania 11 is called the worst WrestleMania of all time is this match and angle right here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I refuse to believe that. When 2 and 9 are in existence. So long as 2 and 9 are in the universe, this is not the worst WrestleMania of all time.
For those of you that don't know, LT is one of the best football players of all time, bar none. He was at the Royal Rumble in the front row, and Bigelow shoved him, leading to this. Instead of the WWF title being on the line in the main event of the biggest show of the year, we get a retired football player against the barely upper mid-carder that was about 8 years past his prime. Do I even need to explain why this is a bad idea? Each man has a group of 5 supporters at ringside, so it's more or less a lumberjack match. Their entrances take up the greater part of Forever. Oh, and Salt and Pepper sing LT to the ring.
Vince, you were like 2 years late. He retired in 1993. So he wasn't even playing at this point. Jesus Christ.
Pat Patterson, of all people, is the referee. He always is if a celebrity's in the main event. There's so many jokes I can make about that I don't know where to start. This is by far and away the main event of the show, which still which still makes my head shake. I used to complain that Lawrence couldn't wrestle, but that was the point, I think. He wasn't supposed to be able to wrestle, but rather be able to fight. Diesel had been apparently showing him some stuff, apparently. The bell hasn't rung yet, so we're just hanging around and waiting to start. Patterson wants a handshake, and Lawrence slaps Bigelow instead, and it's on. Taylor likes to throw forearms, which makes sense as it's basic strike. Taylor sends him to the floor with Bigelow doing the majority of the work to get himself over the top. Bigelow misses a quarter splash, and Taylor gets a belly to back for 2. More forearms, which keep working, so naturally he keeps going with them. Taylor gets in the face of $1 Million Man, as we're still waiting on the big brawl between all the guys on the floor. Lawrence gets on his back, and now we get into the main part of this match. They're going very slow, which is understandable here. Falling headbutt misses Taylor, but he can't capitalize, and Bigelow takes over. Boston Crab goes on, which shifts into a sloppy half crab. Instead, okay, now it's shifted into more or less Bigelow pulling on Taylor's legs. Sorry, I moved my thumb really quick. This was a different kind of match, and not incredibly interesting. The rope is finally grabbed, and Taylor goes back for forearms. A suplex gets Taylor out of trouble for a bit, and both guys are down. Bigelow gets the advantage again and hits the moonsault, but he hurt his knee, having to roll off. He covers shortly thereafter and gets a 0 reaction. I think the fans were confused or flat out didn't care. Either way, it's not a good sign. LT gets a gut-wrench suplex that's called the jackknife for 2. I guess because Diesel trained him. Enziguri puts Taylor down again, and this is needing 10 now. Top rope headbutt gets 2, and a tiny reaction. Taylor makes a big comeback and hammers away with forearms, and the crowd is getting into it. In a big spot of the match, LT goes to the middle rope and hits a flying forearm that gets the pin. Taylor might have been hurt, but seems to be okay. DiBiase rips into Bigelow post-match, setting up his future face turn. I've seen bad matches before.
Mm-hmm.
And as the match goes, this isn't one of them. It's not a bad match. They kept it basic, so Lawrence Taylor can look like he can fight. They didn't do anything complicated or anything narrative-wise. It was just basic big men stuff, and honestly, he really didn't do much more than just forearms and jumping off the rope for a forearm. My problem with this match, though, is a lot what Thomas said in the review. Why was this the main event?
I just had no idea.
You're not even in New York City for this one, where Lawrence Taylor was actually New York Giant. You have Shawn and Diesel, who are your top stars here, and it's not like, and no offense to Bam Bam, but it's not like Lawrence Taylor was in there with Hulk Hogan. It really shouldn't have main evented, but it did, for reasons I still don't really know.
Not like he was in his prime in his football career.
Yeah. WWF got it somehow right in one hand and completely wrong in the other. I'll give something to Lawrence Taylor for effort, though, as it did seem like he wanted to be there and had fun doing so. D-.
Okay. Overall, was that enough to save the show from an F?
No.
One day.
This show is still bad. Literally, it's all. The main event probably should have been an automatic failure, but I decided to throw Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Boom there. The match wasn't bad itself, so But the whole show, yeah, it's bad. The only match I would even recommend you seeing would be Diesel and Shawn. The rest of the show is... The best way to describe the show... I read a review that compared to this. This WrestleMania is a in-your-house special.
Oh, that's a good one.
Minus that most of the belts were defended. And it had WrestleMania written everywhere. And a bunch of celebrities hanging around. Otherwise, this was an in-your-house. You got like one match you really cared about. The show lasted just barely over 2 hours. It was 2 hours and 12 minutes going by the time on Peacock's ticker. But yeah, you do expect a lot more from WrestleMania than just what you would find on a monthly pay-per-view special in 1985. Even before In Your House at this point. So yeah, there's WrestleMania 11.
That'll do it for this. And next, our Elimination Chamber 2017 Retro Review. See you then.